Today on DNVR Buffs Live, takeaways from the offseason scrimmage. We're going to grade the Buffs mid-season report card for the team in a variety of subjects. A lot of discussion about fines. Yeah. Crazy. And we'll play fill in the blank. Let's go.
Did or didn't?
Did not.
Okay, well.
Buff Nation
Squad!
Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Oh boy. Just having some very productive conversations for this show.
The important conversations.
Some would argue the most important.
For real.
Which makes the situation even more confusing.
It'd be like that sometimes. I'm sure everybody out there can relate. We're not going to tell them what, but I'm sure they can all relate. Everybody has been in a situation,
especially
like
in this age group right now. I feel.
Yes. See, that's another thing. Actually, you got to take in consideration too.
That's why I told RC. I was like, Gen Z, I got a problem with you. That's exactly why I told him that. I'm dead. Oh man, welcome into the show. Today we are going to play fill in the blank. I think we got some good questions, Big 12 related, kind of. It's bye week, obviously, so it's more national, like college football as opposed to the Buffs.
Love it.
A lot of talk about fines today.
Yeah.
The report card. Let's talk about this scrimmage though. I saw a few things on Twitter. I watched about half of it. What are your biggest takeaways from that bye week scrimmage we just got?
The vibes are high, brother. Like, very, very high. Like, I understand this team is on a bye week, and typically the relaxed mode is up a little bit. And I understand that this team is coming off a massive upset of a top 25 team. But you watch those videos of this bye week scrimmage, whether it's on Reach the People or Well Off Media, this team is having fun, man. Mm-hmm. Like, and the energy is really infectious and contagious. Like, this doesn't appear to me like a 3-4 football team or a team that has lost 2 of the last 3 games. Like, this team, and I think we saw maybe some of it in 2023. Obviously, I wasn't here covering the team closely at that point, but through 7 games, you kind of know who you are. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times through 7 games, if you're 3-4 or worse, teams can splinter.
Yeah. And
things can fall apart. It doesn't seem like that's what's happening with this Colorado football team. Like, again, I don't know if it was that win. I don't know if it was that celebration in the locker room after that win that kind of helped everybody realize that, you know what, we could do this if we really locked in and played consistently. And like I said, you see the guys, the smiles, the laughs. Obviously, it was the young Bulls today kind of getting a chance to scrimmage. Obviously, the older guys and the guys that we see contributing throughout the week or on game days kind of got a day off, so to speak, and got the young Bulls some reps. Like, they were tackling out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were tackling to the ground. QBs were live. Dominique Ponder was, he's putting the shoulder at some folks, you know what I'm saying? So that is kind of how you keep the juice alive on a bye week, right? And I think it was a great idea to do that. I don't think it's certainly not uncommon to have a bye week scrimmage like the one Colorado had today. But that was my biggest takeaway. We'll get into some other ones, but like I said, the vibes are really high, and this doesn't seem like a 3-4 team. This seems like a team that realizes what they did last week is replicable and repeatable, and this season is far from over, and I think they realize that, and that's awesome to see and hear.
I love that takeaway. Kind of to do with that, the enthusiasm for the young guys is for real.
Yes, that too.
Like said. Seeing all the wide receivers talking up Quanell and Q on the sideline, like this team definitely has a bounty of young talent, and they're just waiting for, them to either come of age or for the, something to go, whatever happens in one of their rooms to get them an opportunity, whatever it is. But it's genuine excitement about the youth of this football team, and the talent is for real too, clearly. Just mentioning the wide receivers, but like Julian, Chauncey,
yes,
there's a long list of guys, and they're obviously, we can talk recruiting today. We will talk recruiting today. And they are out there going for the 27, 28 kids too. Like, they are really trying to infuse this roster with some high school talent from here on out. So I think it's just exciting from that perspective. Just, you can kind of, it's like you could use that scrimmage to like see the transfer or the transformation of the team in real time to watch that going through.
There's some real talent, man, in this underclassmen class, so to speak, of this football team. The freshmen and sophomores. Quentin, who you just mentioned, was making plays today in the scrimmage, per usual, blurring folks. Quanell was as well. Saw Phillip Houston back, participating, looked like a full participant in that scrimmage. Obviously, he hasn't played at all yet this season as he works his way back from the serious knee injury he suffered late last year. But that could potentially be another body that you can add to the top 8-9 rotation of this offensive line down the stretch of this year. So that's awesome. But I think your point about the youth is especially pointed. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. There's a tweet right here on my screen of a clip of Joseph Williams talking to the team right after the game, and kind of emerging as a vocal leader. It helps when you go out and ball out the way you do, like he did on Saturday. But, I think of Tawfiq Byard, who is a redshirt sophomore. Joseph Williams, who we're talking about, is a true sophomore. Jordan Seaton, the franchise, a true sophomore. And all the just young talent on this team, it just makes you really excited for the future. And it really makes you excited for the second half of the season, right? Because for a lot of these guys, you don't got to wait till next year to see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this second half of the year, granted, guys take advantage of their opportunities. They're going to be getting opportunities. So what they do with those is going to determine a lot moving forward. But the youth of this team, the recruiting staff has done a hell of a job. And I just think, what guys said, you said it, we'll talk about it, the recruiting moving forward. But how big Saturday's win was just for the recruiting side of things, especially going into the bye week. Right. A lot of recruiting gets done. And, going into the bye week, coming off of that game and being able to pitch to, we see Corey Phillips down there in Tennessee, like being able to go in those schools and be like, hey, you saw what we just did on Saturday, right?
For sure.
So that is massive. Totally,
man. It's an exciting time right now. And, just goes to show how much they really needed that win on Saturday, too. Let's grade the team.
Let's do it.
We have 10 subjects, if you will, or categories for grading.
Yeah.
We have a full report card here in a second, but it's a lot of the usual suspects: quarterback, running back, tight ends, wide receiver, offensive line, edge, D-line, backers. What?
Secondary?
I think they're either split or not. I can't remember.
Specialists?
But, specialists are there.
Hell yeah.
And coaching.
As it should be. While we wait for this to get pulled up, Reckless Tay mentioned it says 25 look nice. 25 is in talking about Kyle Carpenter, the true freshman
from Buford,
walk-on from Buford, Georgia. Exactly right. We haven't seen him obviously at all this season. Obviously in the game, but he did look nice. Again, granted, it's against some freshmen and some sophomore and guys who don't typically see the field on game day, but Kyle Carpenter, we're talking about the youth of this team. That's a true freshman right there. You mentioned it, from Buford, the same high school as Mantrez Walker. They play some big-time football down there. And if he can continue to get developed, he could potentially play a role in that cornerback room here moving forward.
No doubt. He has been on a lot of the injury reports is out right away. So I don't know if he's... So I think he might be back, because looking through this Iowa State one, I don't see his name on here. So, yeah, if he's all the way back, then that's someone that you could potentially turn to in the second half of the season now. Yeah, I'm seeing him. He was listed as out against TCU.
Yeah.
And then his name doesn't even show up for Iowa State. So it could be big for sure.
For sure. And we've talked about it. They're looking for answers to that third cornerback spot. It was Ivan Yates who kind of answered the call on Saturday. I would assume if RJ isn't back after the bye week, that Ivan might get the first crack at that against Utah, but Kyle Carpenter could potentially play into that.
No doubt.
And shout out to Wilo too.
He's just the GOAT, bro.
We talked about Shiloh yesterday just being absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Wilo today, Ben Finiseth, showing up to practice in full Coach Prime gear was just absolutely hilarious. And then you see the clip of him breaking down the team at the end.
Yes.
He's like, let's break it down on like, even how he was gripping the can, bro.
How
like
he
his
was like
fingers.
walking. Yes.
Yeah, he had his fingers like Prime too, bro. That man is so funny, dog.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend, bro.
Okay, so this computer's full and I can't open the file, so you guys can either start or we can flip-flop segments.
All right, let's just run it. The computer's giving Alyssa issues, and so she's gonna, slap it around a little bit and get it to work, and then hopefully relax there, brother. Relax, and then we can actually get the graphic going. Do we just start with quarterbacks from the top, or do you want to start?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Just a regular grading scale, A+ to F.
Okay, so we're doing pluses and minuses. If
Yeah,
it's
of
applicable?
course.
All right, bet.
6 games.
All right, bet.
Or 7 games.
7.
You should be able to make a distinction between a B- and B+ at
Dang,
that
you only
point.
got 5 more games left, bro.
Bro, it's unfair how short the college football
5
season
more
is.
games left, bro.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Meanwhile, I see the Avs and Nuggets people in here getting
Right.
ready for 82 post games
For
a
real,
year.
dog.
Broncos aren't even halfway around through their schedule yet.
For real.
Completely unfair. All right, I'll keep track of it.
Bet.
What do you want to do for QB here? I mean, clearly Caden's kind of... Has he broken out? Has he turned the corner? Or, is it still going to be a lot of what we saw earlier in the season as opposed to the Iowa State game?
I don't know if Caden has turned the corner just yet. We got to see another performance similar to the one we saw on Saturday, right? It's about consistency. That's a word that gets thrown around my Coach Prime and this coaching staff quite a bit. Caden knows that. He knows he has to replicate a similar performance as the one he had on Saturday the rest of the season. So I don't know if he's turned the corner yet. Obviously, Saturday was a great start. If I'm giving Caden a grade for this season, let's just look at his numbers a little bit, right? 1,156 passing yards. That's 11th in the Big 12 this year. And obviously he missed, let's call it a game and a half between the Delaware game between the Houston game and half of the Delaware game. 9 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. On the ground, he has been obviously pretty solid as well. I'm trying to find his numbers. Touchdown, he's got at least 5. Yeah, he's got 5 rushing touchdowns, 270 rushing yards, 4.2 yards a carry. So what's that? 14 total touchdowns to 4 interceptions. It's pretty good. 65% completion percentage. I like that as well. And that was a talking point that we talk about a lot this offseason, right? Could he get his completion percentage up above 60, close to 65? He's done that so far. If I'm putting a grade on Caden so far, obviously he struggled some. I think Ivan is kind of in the right ballpark right there with that C+ he just threw in the chat. I'm going to give that a C+. I'm going to agree with Ivan there, and I'm going to give Caden, this quarterback room right now, a C+.
I'm right there with you. Just too much, lack of leadership, instability early in the season. Obviously, the Houston game being the biggest, and maybe the Delaware game too being the biggest sign of that. That just hurt the team. I mean, you took a process that should have been, and of course, so much stuff happened this year in the summer with coaches' health and all that. But that was a process that should have been, if not ironed out, you're putting the finishing touches on it in the last few weeks of camp, as opposed to game 2, 3, 4. And on and on. So, I mean, we'll talk more about whether or not he's officially turned the corner or not. But I think C+ is pretty fair.
I think so. I mean, again, he's made plays. You look at the yardage, you look at the touchdown numbers. Again, 14 touchdowns, total touchdowns, passing plus rushing is good through, let's call it 5 games. That's solid. The interception as a whole, 4 interceptions through, let's call it 5 or some games, isn't great, but when you consider the fact that he threw 3 in one half, you know what I'm saying? The rest of that doesn't look as bad. But if he can continue just to limit the turnovers, if he can continue to be great on third down, because this offense has been good on third down. This season, Colorado is top 4 in the conference on third down conversions. They're actually, like I said, they were number 4, 44% on third down this season. So that's a feather in Caden's cap as well. So, again, he just got to be more consistent, continue to take care of the football, be great on third down, be great in the red zone, and that grade by season's end will be a lot higher than C+.
All right, let's take our first break. And shout out the homies over at Ent Credit Union. I mean, this one's for you, Broncos country. Open up a Broncos checking account with our friends at Ent Credit Union, and you'll get tons of perks, including game day at Mile High Stadium. Every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking debit card enters you in for a chance to win home game tickets. You get 10% off of food and gear on game days at Empower Field. Plus, the debit card is a limited edition Bo Nix one. It's available right now. Unfortunately, we don't have it near us, but trust me, that thing is sick. Just go to a credit union, man. They're going to take care of you, take care of your money, not try and, boss you around like a big bank could do. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head on over to ent.com/DNVR, ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
And shout out to the squad, the fam, our good friends over at Taco Bell, man. That new Cantina chicken menu over at Taco Bell, it's something special, y'all. It truly is, man. It's a new era of chicken over at Taco Bell. And that Cantina chicken menu has a new flavorful chicken that is slow roasted. It's perfectly seasoned with Mexican spices. And it has those premium ingredients, that shredded purple cabbage, those white corn tortilla shells that are freshly fried, and that pico de gallo, which is freshly prepared every single day. So get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell, and don't forget to add on that $7 Buffs box, y'all, featuring 4 Taco Bell classics with a large drink and a CU Buff player collectible cup. Taco Bell is a proud sponsor of CU Athletics, and they're donating $1,000 to the Golden Buffalo Scholarship Foundation for every single touchdown scored. Buffs love the bell. Shout out to Taco Bell.
All right, let's get it moving with these position groups. We got like 10 to get through. So,
Bet.
Running backs. We've obviously heard a lot about this position group, talked a lot about this position group all off season. They've really delivered and they've really impressed. I think to be an A+ though, that's something that you're like best in the country at. Or you have one of, if not the best groups in the country.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're doing it by position groups here. So running back, I'll give it a solid B+. I think that there's obviously, we talk about it all the time in the post-game shows, there's meat left on the bone when it comes to the running game, right? For whatever reason, whether it's play calling, rotation-wise, or just penalties, guys not hitting holes or they're getting taken down on first contact, whatever it is. I just think there's plenty of room for growth there, even though they have been impressive.
B+ was your answer, correct? I'm gonna stay similar. I'm going to give it a B. And I think your point that you mentioned at the top is a pointed one. Like, as much as this running game has improved, there's still a lot of meat left on the bone. There's still a lot of room to get to national average, to get to the top of the Big 12. Because as we sit here right now, in terms of rushing yards this season, Colorado's still 11th in the Big 12. They have cracked 1,000 yards already rushing.
But
this
as
season,
Ivan
though.
says, still not 100-yard back in a game.
Exactly right. So that's where I'm at with the straight B. Obviously, they've been banged up in that room. We haven't seen DeKalen or Simeon in a few weeks, but Micah has been solid. He's still leading this team in rushing. Dallin has been really good the last couple of weeks. Draylon and Cam have given you something. And then, obviously, we're not including Caden in this, but he's obviously giving you something in the run game as well. I'm going to give us a solid B.
I like that. We'll go with the B. Wide receivers. This one's kind of tough, honestly.
It is tough.
I mean, you're going to have to factor in clearly the penalties, the blocking, the drops. Because clearly on talent, like this is like an A room just on talent alone. But when it comes to execution, and I don't know, I don't know exactly how this situation went down. I'd like to think that they could have helped Caden acclimate a little bit better too.
Yep.
But that's tough to kind of throw at them when you've got guys like Joseph Sincere, who are acclimating to the entire program and city at the same time too. So, B minus. What do you think?
I'm a little higher on the receivers.
Okay.
I was gonna say B plus.
I can't rate them higher than the running backs personally.
Okay. I feel like the receivers have made plays when
Well, go
given
ahead.
opportunities. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Like JoJo has been amazing.
Sure.
Omar and Miller has been great
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the catching the football and making plays. The blocking has left a lot to be desired. And we can't ignore that. But those two guys, like I said, have been great. And the rest of them, Draylon has struggled a little bit. And obviously he seems to be, I don't even know if
He's
he can
out
really,
of that room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he might just be a running back now. You know what? And you know what? Maybe you're right. But it goes back to what I asked you a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was even last week. It's like the receiving production, like how much of that is on the receivers and how much of that is on just this passing game, the quarterback, you're just not being on the same page right now. So
Yeah.
you said B minus, I'll go with you. I'll go with B minus there. That's what you said, right? B minus?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that.
B minus for the wide receivers, Alyssa. Yeah. Tight ends. This is a bit of a tough one.
And let me
too.
say this. Let me say
ahead.
this too, because a lot of PH Pistols are saying B plus on the receiver, they can block, and a lot of people are saying this. Saying a receiver can block,
Who cares?
is like saying, "Damn, my right tackle can't even throw a 10-yard out." That's not what you asking them to do.
yeah, bro.
If you asking Omari and Miller to be one of your best blockers, well, damn it, you're gonna be disappointed. Yeah. Like these boys are out there to catch the damn football and run routes and get open and score touchdowns. Like we're not finna sit here and act like them blocking is what they are on the field to do. That's not what they're on the field to do. They play receiver.
Thank you.
So I just want to say that.
Thank you. Great point, Scotty. Tight ends. This is a tough one.
It is.
See?
That's where I was.
I would have liked to see more impact from them personally. Zach has some drops early on. Savell hasn't been able to play, so you're kind of down to one.
Yeah.
None of these freshmen, and this is a very, very tough position to play too. So maybe we have to grade this a bit on a curve, but I don't think it's surprising to see any of these freshmen not really break out at this point either. This is a very tough position to play, where
It is.
you're being asked to deal with guys who are 30, 40, 50 pounds heavier than you at times, and in a lot of these freshmen's cases, 4 or 5 years older than you.
I think C is the right answer. We just haven't seen much production from them, and I think we have to give them some credit for this improved run game because obviously they're blocking in that
Zach's done some stuff in the RPO game.
for sure. And even that you can say like the blocking hasn't been great from that position group at times this year as well, but the opportunities haven't really been there. So I think C is a good answer.
Offensive line. Is this maybe the highest grade on the report card?
Yeah, for sure. Or unless it's special teams, but O-line.
I mean, one of these next two has to be up there in terms of the highest grade. Are any of them A plus caliber? Let's stick with offensive line for now. Is the offensive line A plus caliber?
I don't think we can do A plus because the running game, while improved, isn't necessarily elite by any means. I think an A minus A is fine for this offensive line. Because again, when you look at, although Caden has been sacked, or Colorado quarterbacks have been sacked at a higher rate, at least relative to the rest of the Big 12, none of them, if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, according to Pro Football Focus, have been credited to a Colorado offensive lineman.
Yep.
Actually, only one of them. Xavier Hill, the only one, according to Pro Football Focus, who has been credited for allowing a sack this season.
And whenever we talk about these time to throw stats too, they're
Yep.
always way up there. I mean, it's clear Caden has time. I mean, the TCU game, I think, kind of summed it all up where I don't know how many sacks he took. It was 1 or 2. Again, none of them credit to the offensive line. It was, he kind of pressured himself into making a lot of mistakes or running himself into pressure as opposed to the offensive line.
Yeah.
It's also just tough when you have a quarterback that plays that style. If you had a more traditional drop back passer like Shador Sanders last year, this offensive line probably looks like one of the top 5 best in the country without a doubt. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
I like A minus.
I'm with that.
So A minus for the offensive line. Special teams, and this is the group that I think Coach Prime would probably say is the highest graded group. And he's clearly making an example of them a positive example of them in terms of their leadership and how to be consistent, and just go about and do your job as a pro, even though we're of course playing college football here.
Yep.
Demon, look, he's had like 10 out of 10 games, like the first 4 games, and then he like dropped down to like an 8 out of 10, like
For sure.
so he's still been really, really good. Shout out to Buck. I haven't really heard Coach talk about him. He's up to like 26, 27 touchbacks, which is up there in terms of the top of the Big 12. The return game, I think, leaves some to be desired. Your coverage has been good this year. I don't really remember any big returns.
And that's what I was going to go. Like, I can't really remember a time where it's like, damn it, special teams just killed this team or killed this drive or killed this. Like, I don't remember a massive, brutal mistake aside from the TCU, obviously, one.
The punt?
On the punt.
But
But that would be the only thing. And obviously, it was a pretty
you can't
big,
blame the punter for having this one shank of the year when he's been bailing you out constantly.
No, for sure. But obviously that ball hitting a Colorado football player and TCU being able to recover that late in the game, that was a big play. But other than that, yes. So, other than that, special teams has been good. I think A is a good grade here. There's still room to be improved.
Sure, yeah.
No doubt, particularly in the return game and maybe seeing a long-range field goal. If Buck would have made that long one this weekend, I probably would have gave it an A+. But I think A's valid right here.
Good point. Just an A, Alyssa. Defensive line. This is interior only.
Okay.
Edges are a separate category here. This has been one of the most beat up groups on the team. I know some people are not happy with the statistics that this group has allowed in terms of running the ball or rushing yards against, I should say.
You're right.
I can't really blame them for lack of pass rush when you're a 300-plus pounder and that's not really your job. I mean, I know Amari's had a sack, I believe. I don't know. Do you have the stats in front of you right now? I don't.
Yeah, at least Amari has been credited with a half a sack, according to ESPN. According to Pro Football Focus, he has a full sack. This has been kind of a disappointing group if I'm keeping it 100.
Yeah.
You look at the guys in that room. Obviously, Jaheim Otis, not exactly what a lot of people thought that he would be for this team coming in from Alabama. Or maybe he was exactly what you thought he would be coming in from Alabama, depending on how you viewed Jaheim Otis. But Amari McNeil has been great. The rest of that room has been really banged up, man. Anquin's dealt with injuries. Tavian's out for the season. Lightfoot's out for the season. Torian Carter's been back a little bit. Tawfiq Thomas has been in on the lineup a little bit, banged up. Same with BDS, who, while obviously still young, he has looked like a young guy at points. So I think this is, in terms of the interior of this defensive line, I'm going to say like C, maybe even C-. Where are you at with it?
I think last week's game should count for something.
It should.
But at the same time, they also gave up 180 yards to...
Abu Sama ran for 177 and 2 touchdowns, 7.5 yards a carry. So if it does count, then probably not counting for a lot of good.
Sure, but like I also don't want to like hold the injuries against them. It's almost like an NA as opposed to anything, honestly.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
I hear you on that.
C-, yeah. I mean, for real though, like I think an incomplete grade could be kind of fair for this group at this point.
Only reason I push back on that is because we talked a lot about the depth of this defensive line this offseason.
Sure, but like, I mean, when 2 guys go down to season-ending surgeries and one of them didn't even see the field, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, what else can you? I don't know. C-? C?
I think I would go C-. I'll leave it up to you though.
C-. Edge, another group that's maybe been slightly disappointing, also has dealt with some injuries, still have not seen Sam Okunlola once at all this year. Keaton Wade is your leading guy in terms of tackle for losses and sacks to this point. In terms of sacks, though, Arden Walker has 1.5. London's got 1. That's really it. That is it in terms of the edge room. That is 5 sacks from that group. That is really underperforming.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is maybe I really don't know the answer to this. So, according to Pro Football Focus, the sack numbers are different. Like
So
Arden is credited with 3 and Keaton is credited with 3.
okay, so places like PFF that do sometimes they'll just say we don't care about the official stats. Like
Yeah, clearly they don't.
no, yeah. So
Yeah.
and look, London has again he had a sack or not credited as a sack. It was in what the first or second game.
Yes.
It was like a 0-yard tackle or whatever they called
Right.
it. You know what I mean? So like that's why you're going to see
that could be
differences
it.
in those.
That could be
So
it.
and again, it's just the college game how they officially tabulate stats.
Yeah.
Can be a little different too. So if you want to go off the PFF numbers, then by all means, sure.
I'm a bit higher on the edge group, like, and I'll be honest, a lot of it has to do with how impressive London Merritt and Alexander McPherson have been.
Of course.
But Arden obviously has been solid too. He leads his team in total pressures and quarterback hurries as well, with double digits in both of those categories. Keaton has been really good. Keaton has been really consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of at like a B minus for the edge.
The running backs have been better than them. I say B minus.
I'm with that. That's a good one. I'm with that.
All right, let's take our next break. And then we'll get back to the final 4 grades we have there: linebacker, cornerback, safety, and coaching. Shout out to our friends, though, over at Common Spirit Health, where it's more than just hospitals and clinics. They got a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. They got 20 hospitals, 240 clinics, and care sites right here in the great state of Colorado. Anything from preventative care, advanced surgical solutions, sports medicine, or whatever you got going on, they've got you covered. Whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
And shout out to our good friends over at Monarch Money, man. Nowadays, it's harder than ever to really keep track of your finances, keep track of where your money is going, especially with all the subscriptions we have nowadays, all the things we just got to pay for. $5 here.
Don't let those free trials catch you, man.
Those free trials, $20 at the bar here, $15 eating out here. Like, this stuff adds up, and it could do damage if you allow it to. And that's why our friends over at Monarch Money, they're so clutch, man. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. So I'm looking at you right now. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you, because they do the heavy lifting, man. You can link all your accounts in minutes. You can get clear data visuals, smart categorization, that's a good word right there, of your spending, and real control over your money, so you're not leaving any money on the table. Monarch is not just another finance app, man. It was literally named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code DNVR. Shout out to Monarch Money, man.
Shout out Common Spirit. Shout out Monarch Money. Back to the report card. We gave the edge group a B minus, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did we do defensive line? I think we did, right? We're on the
Yes.
linebackers?
Yep.
Linebackers. That's a touchy subject. The rotation that you saw starting the season is no longer the same rotation. Jeremiah Brown has really emerged, though, and he's emerged and become one of your best defenders to this point as well. Sean Myers has really made some plays in some spots. Reggie has made some plays in some spots. Outside of that, I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, Jeremiah Brown's been great the last 2 weeks. But the unit as a whole has been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Left a lot to be desired. This is a C minus D plus type of grade for me.
Are they the same as the defensive line then? We also gave them a C minus.
Yeah. I think they've both been about equally as disappointing. What are your thoughts on it?
I think if anyone deserves a D, it's them. But I mean, again, we're kind of splitting hairs, and the way that Jeremiah's come on, I think that is worth something too.
It is.
So I'll rock with the C-. Larry says the combination is just now being discovered. Took too long. I don't even know if they have settled on a combination yet, though, is the thing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's a reason why they have 3 freshman linebackers coming in this next class.
Correct.
And why they're still recruiting more, basically, too.
Correct.
So, cornerbacks. Oh, boy, another one. Jeez. DJ has been up and down. Preston has been very up and down. And the third cornerback has been even more up and down. Probably more so down than anything, because you can't find an answer at that second outside corner, third corner spot, I guess. So, not a lot of depth there either. You've battled injuries at that position too, especially when it comes to your depth.
This is why we've talked about playing corner. We talked about it yesterday. Why playing corner is so damn difficult.
It is.
And why it's the most difficult position to play, in my opinion, right behind quarterback.
And we went through the stats yesterday. The stats actually are not that bad.
Bro, you know how many times Preston Hodge has been targeted in coverage this year?
15?
40 times.
Oh, wow.
40 times Preston Hodge has been targeted in coverage.
That's crazy, actually.
And when you get targeted 40 times, as much as this team plays man coverage, you are going to get got. He has given up 23 catches on those 40 targets. 57% conversion rate on this. That's obviously by far the most. DJ McKinney is second most targeted. He's at 28. Nobody else is more than 20. So while Preston hasn't been very good, certainly not as good as he was last year. DJ has not been as good as he was last year. I think part of that is, I don't know. I don't know if part of that is last year they were playing with Travis Hunter and Cam back there.
Of course it is, bro. Of course it is. That changes everything when you have a corner like that.
It does. But the lack of, somebody made it right there. They haven't made many plays. I agree. The lack of interceptions has been a bit disappointing. DJ has one. RJ has one. RJ's obviously been banged up, and Tawfiq has the third one as well. So
shout out to my guy, Will Darkey. He interned with us a couple of years ago. He hit me up yesterday after we talked about this on the show. With this point, Will's a basketball guy. And so he made this comparison to when your team is going through a cold shooting streak.
Yeah. And
you see Tawfiq Bayard put one up and it goes in.
Yeah.
And how that can kind of inspire the team. And he also mentioned how that might relate to the quote that Coach Prime had about a week ago about playing corner, how 95% play to not get beat and only the 5% play to make a play. I think that you saw Tawfiq go out there and make a play. And I think that that can be a bit infectious too, because clearly this is a talented group. And for whatever reason, they're just not getting themselves in position. And maybe they are, I don't know, maybe trying to be more so that 95% rather than that 5%. And so hopefully, again, turnovers kind of come in bunches too. That's what the coaches have been saying. Maybe that Tawfiq interception kind of spurs that and spurs better play in the group. But
yeah, I can see that.
Shout out Will for that.
A couple people mentioned it in the chat. I mean, anytime this cornerback room was really strong last year, but anytime you lose Travis Hunter and Colton Hood in the same offseason from a particular position room, the room is going to be worse than it was last year. And I think that's what we're seeing. What's your grade on this? I'm thinking C minus.
C, I think.
Okay.
I think that all things considered, they have been less disappointing than the defensive line and linebackers.
Yeah, I'm with that. And somebody mentioned it too. If you can just scroll up just a little bit, Alyssa, in the chat, somebody was like, a good D-line helps linebacker play immensely. And you're absolutely right, JT. And I think
that's why we have those grades going hand in hand, I think.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The C minus there for the D-line and linebacker coincide with each other.
Yes, C. Brown, we talked about this yesterday, brother. The stats really aren't that bad if you go take a look nationally. Scott just laid it out to you with man coverage. Just because they're not playing like all-time world Deion Sanders at all three positions doesn't mean that they're not like a decent group. Like y'all's expectations for this group are just crazy. Wonder where that comes from.
Opposing quarterbacks are completing 58% of their passes against Colorado's defense.
Exactly.
That's solid.
Exactly.
You will take that. You want more turnovers, certainly, but You only given them 9 passing touchdowns through 7 games. That's about 1.2 a game. You know what I'm saying? That's solid. Obviously, we all would like the cornerbacks to be better. But if you are expecting the level of play when Travis Hunter was playing cornerback for this team and Colton Hood was on this team, you're going to be disappointed.
Yep. See, Brown, they call routes all the time, bro. Like safeties. Another position where they've the lineup that we had earlier in the year is not the lineup we have now. But I do think that, I mean, obviously injuries have played a role in many aspects. Tawfiq Bayard was hurt during the year. Again, Robert Livingston said that again yesterday. We're not talking about that. He was hurt earlier in the year. Carter has, he's had his ups and downs too, and he's now injured as well.
Yeah.
You've seen Ben in there. You've seen John Slaughter in there. Who else have we seen at that position? Am I forgetting someone?
No, I don't think so. I mean, listen, Tawfiq has been amazing. He's been the best player on this defense. And Ben Finisett has been really solid.
I mean, he's like giving you some real effort plays and some real like inspiring football.
For sure. And he's a leader out there.
Yes.
I'm almost like B+, A- here on safeties.
I mean, it's been the best group on defense by far, I think. Most consistent, at least, right?
For real.
Again, you're not seeing rainbows over the top of your defense. You're not just seeing teams bombs away.
Facts.
Just completely going, oh, this guy can't play center field. We're just going to, look one way, throw it the other, and he's not even going to be in the play.
They've really prevented big plays.
Yeah. B+?
Like I said, I'm B+, A-. So if you want to go B+, I'm perfectly cool with that. A- might be a little much, but yeah, B+ is certainly warranted.
I mean, if we're giving the offensive line A-, I can't do that for the safeties.
Yeah,
I do think there's a lot of room to grow there, but they have been good. B+, I think, is great for the safeties. Last group, coaching, and this is there's so much that goes into this, and it's so hard to get a really, I think, accurate grade on this.
Yeah.
Entirely. Also, I think you have to factor in things like how the team responded to Coach Prime's cancer earlier in the year, how they responded to this last week. Coaching is more so X's and O's. It's a lot to do with focus and motivation. And I think that this coaching staff can get these guys ready to play a game any day of the week. And they can, when the players decide to lock in, the coaches can get these players to focus on damn near anything to achieve any goal. They have the talent to do so. Obviously play calling can factor in on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How do you see this?
Immediately what comes to my mind is those 2 blown 14-0 leads. And as much as that's comes down to execution and the players out there playing in between the lines, it's coaching as well. Mm-hmm. And to have it happen one time, it's like, all right, whatever. To have it happen twice in back-to-back weeks, it's concerning. So all things considered, you kind of laid out everything that we're kind of considering here: the play calling, the preparation, they getting dudes ready, prepared, how they came out this weekend and really played with a lot of effort. That's obviously coaching as well. So I'm kind of like C.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be mad at a C- or a C+. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I'm kind of in C+, B- range. Again, I really think last week has to count for something.
Yeah, it does.
You got this team ready after a, 3-game skid? 2-game skid? What were they on?
2-game skid.
After a 2-game skid, you got this team ready to, physically hang with and beat a top 25 football team.
Yeah.
A team that played in the Big 12 title game last year. And I think that, again, with all the distractions that you could potentially point to with this team, for the most part, we've seen a really locked in and focused team. A team that believes in themselves, too.
For sure.
So that would be my argument for B-, because I do think this one has to be put on a curve a little bit. Again, the Coach Prime cancer stuff and the surgery that has to matter. It just has to. Like, no other teams had to go through that, where they missed their coach for the entire summer, and they went into one of their biggest matchups of the year with, their coach going in for surgery that week. No one else has had to do that in the country besides this team.
No doubt.
So, again, that's my argument for B+. I mean, when it comes to execution and a lot of things, they have a lot of room to grow too.
Yeah. This Utah game will be massive, dog. I want to see if this team can win 2 games in a row. Something they haven't done yet this season. I want to see if this team can come out of a bye with the same fervor that they played with last week. I want to see if last week was a fluke or not. I want to see if this team can truly play on the road. They have yet to get a road win this season as well. There's a lot at stake next weekend in Salt Lake, and I'm really interested to see. We're going to find out a lot about this team, no doubt.
So we're rolling with the C+?
I think that's the appropriate grade.
I would probably be a little bit more generous if it was just me, but I'll side with you.
Hey, man, you the QB. If you want,
No. Come on.
All right.
This is a group thing.
For sure.
I'm really not that far away from you. It's just that, like, I'm willing to give them a lot more benefit of the doubt, I think.
I'm not willing to put a B anything next to the coaching staff.
No,
right
that's
now.
fair.
Yeah.
So there you go. We do have one final break before we get to. We might have to cut something here, but we've still got a lot to talk about. Shout out to the homies over at Toyota, man. Just the go-to car out here in Colorado. If you're looking for a new truck, hybrid, SUV, sedan, I mean, there's hardly any other better choice than Toyota, just in terms of comfort, reliability, safety, and efficiency. They're just one of the best in the business. Check out the all-new 2025 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2025 Land Cruiser, along with 17 models that have available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, including the Epic 4Runner. They also have tons of low or zero-emission vehicles, like 16 different hybrids, including the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of Sea Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Coors Light, man. Missing my boy RK, man, but I know he's out there on the other side of the pond, out there in Europe, staying loyal to his Coors Light. I just know he is. And with us here on the bye week, my boy Jakey and I, we're gonna delve into some Coors Light this week as well. We're gonna dabble just a little bit because we're trying to chill. And when you want to choose chill, man, you need to grab you a Coors Light. Coors Light, man, cold lager, it's cold filtered, it's cold packaged for such a smooth finish. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Shout out to Coors Light.
All right, Scotty, we got to make a tough decision here. Do you want to cut fill in the blank or recruiting?
Let's just we'll just do recruiting tomorrow.
All right, we'll do recruiting tomorrow.
Might get some more news on recruiting.
Facts, actually. Do you have that ready, Alyssa? Fill in the blank. All right, ready whenever you are. Again, this is more kind of national Big 12 overarching stuff as opposed to CU related. First question. Blank is Texas Tech's biggest in-conference competition right now?
It's a hell of a question, brother. You go first, because this is obviously my first time seeing this, and you thought about this a little bit. So you go first.
I posed the question. That doesn't mean I really thought about this, honestly.
I don't believe that. But all right. Let me just take a gander at who's all in here.
So if you just go by the rankings, it'd be BYU, Cincy, or Utah.
Right.
You could still throw
those are
in
the answers. I think Arizona State's injuries right now have kind of taken them out of it.
But Iowa State is still a decent team. I mean, I know they've dealt a lot with injuries recently too. Baylor, I'm not ready to give up on yet until they're mathematically eliminated just with the quarterback they have.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I am going to say BYU, I think, bro. I think I'm going to say BYU because BYU don't need a big, great performance from their quarterback to win. To beat Texas Tech, I don't think. I think they can play a type of ground control, tough, physical, defensive type game that could make it really tough on Texas Tech. And obviously they play. I was just looking at Texas Tech's schedule. That game is in Lubbock in about 3 or 4 weeks, November 8th. looking at Texas Tech's schedule is sweet, man. They get Arizona State this week, but after that, Kansas State on the road might be tough, but they finished with UCF and West Virginia.
They play the three worst teams in the conference in their last 5 games.
Yeah,
That's
they got
insane.
Oklahoma State, UCF, and West Virginia still on the schedule. So
That's crazy.
they're going to get to 10 wins. That is inevitable. So I think BYU, like I said, for those reasons I just outlined, I think it's BYU. What say you?
I think that I think it was Julius and Bird up above in the chat probably had the best answer. No one.
That might be the answer.
If I had to pick a team, I'd like to pick BYU. I just don't know if Bear's ready for that. So I'll pick the vet, and I'll go with Cincy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the answer. I think so. But honestly, my first answer is probably no one.
That is probably the answer, but I was obviously trying not to do that. I think
No,
BYU,
of course, but
BYU, and Kevin mentioned as well, they arguably still got the best coach in the conference too. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be buttoned
that's
up.
fair.
BYU would be my answer.
All right, next one. The Buff who will have a breakout second half of the season is blank.
London Merritt. He is second on this team so far this season in quarterback hurries, only behind Arden Walker. London has 9 quarterback hurries, and I don't even know. He just made his first start, so
yeah.
He has been playing, but not starter reps and opportunities. I think he's going to be getting starter reps and opportunities coming out of the bye, and the more reps he gets, man, you see the quarterback hurries. He's getting close. Mm-hmm. He already notched his first career sack. I think we can be looking at – I don't think it would be crazy to say, even right now with London Merritt only having 1 sack in the season, that he finishes this season as the team's leading sack leader.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be crazy. So give me London.
I like that. Does Joseph Williams count?
No.
I think it could.
You asked me, and I told you no. But if
I'm
you
just
want-
saying. I think he could truly emerge as like one of the top 2 wide receivers on this team. I mean, maybe he has already, but I think he could break out in a Big 12 sense too.
I hear you. I mean, I hear you.
Then
If you want to
pick
go with
Cam
that,
Michael.
that's valid.
No, I'll pick Cam Michael.
See,
then.
that's a good one. That's a real good one.
I just think that it's much easier for Joseph Williams to have a path to being one of the best in the Big 12 than Cam Michael is to. I mean, again, like if Draylon comes back, I fully expect him to put Draylon in the Wildcat over Cam at this point.
The question was who would break out, right?
Yeah.
I would argue like JoJo broke out already, though. You know what I'm saying? That would be my only pushback to that. But obviously, you know all of the answer. You know how I feel about JoJo Williams.
Yeah, of course. But
I think Cam is a really good answer because like his role could be expanded second half of the year.
true.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And although I think he only finished with 8 or 9 rushing yards on those 4 or 5 rush attempts,
Yeah.
but I saw what
They're
what
dying
I
to get
needed
him
to
on the
see.
field, bro.
Exactly, and they should be.
Yeah.
Dude is explosive and electric and the fastest player on the team. So I think Cam's a really good answer, honestly.
Okay. Next one. Good or bad, blank has been the biggest surprise in the Big 12 so far.
Arizona.
Good answer.
And bro, I was looking at numbers today,
Good
bro.
answer.
I was looking at trying to think of a way to work this in, bro, and this is a perfect segue. Bro, Arizona's defense is kind of elite, bro. I mentioned that completion percentage against Colorado's defense this season earlier in the show. 58% quarterbacks are completing against Colorado's defense this year. Guess the percentage of passes quarterbacks are completing against Arizona's defense this season.
I mean, the way you're leading this, I'm going to say 54.
49%,
That's
bro.
crazy.
And 49%, bro.
That's insane.
They have given up 1 passing touchdown this season, bro.
Wow.
They have 9 interceptions, bro.
I mean, it makes sense why they're only a 1-loss team right
This Arizona defense is
2-loss
legit, bro. And Arizona is a good football team. Mm-hmm. I think they're my biggest surprise.
Some people said K-State. I thought about that one.
Yeah.
How is it not Cincinnati?
True. They're still undefeated.
They
got the 1 loss.
They're undefeated in the conference.
Right.
They did lose that opening week to Nebraska, but now
Right.
Nebraska's ranked. Cincinnati's number 24. That game at the end of the year could look a lot better in terms of just pure talent level than it does at any point right now, or it did before the season.
For sure.
So I think that they've been real impressive defensively. They've only given up 115 points all year. They, of course, had the big win over Iowa State. Although Iowa State was kind of hitting a downturn at that point. Their schedule, though, they have Oklahoma State this weekend. I mean, they're going to dismantle them.
Yep.
Big game against Baylor coming out Utah, versus Arizona, versus BYU, at TCU. We're going to find out real quick how for real this team is.
It's on the table that they end the season on a 4 or 5 game losing streak.
I don't think they're that bad, though. I really don't.
I don't think they are either, but I'm just saying it's on the table. Like,
Sure.
That stretch run is kind of brutal.
It is. It's tough.
Which one of those do they have at home?
They have Baylor, Arizona, and BYU at home.
Oh, that's
so
good.
you go on the road to TCU, Utah, and then for whatever it matters, Oklahoma State.
What's next?
Next one. Blank is my midseason Heisman Trophy pick. Who's been the best player in the country to you? If we want to pull up odds and talk about it, you're going to get a lot of Fernando Mendoza at this point in time, especially after last week. Carson Beck is going to be up there. Ty Simpson's going to be up there. Who else? I just pulled up a bad article.
Well, you know Sawyer Robertson leads college football in passing yards this year?
It's not surprising to me at all.
It's kind of crazy.
I don't know if Jeremiah Smith's really done enough. Dante Moore after the loss last week, that's a tougher pick at this point. Jaden Mayava at USC, maybe
He's
a
been
sneaky
good.
long shot.
Damn. Ty Simpson's numbers are kind of on fire, bro.
Haynes King is getting some love in these. CJ Carr's played well.
Yeah, a couple of people. I just said Simpson, and I look up a couple people have already mentioned him. I think that would be my pick right now, bro. Alabama has been on fire since that season opening loss to Florida State. Ty Simpson, 70% completion this year, 16 passing touchdowns, 1 pick. He's
Definitely
been playing lights out.
I think I'm going with Fernando.
I don't mind that.
Oh, that's a great pick. I mean, he would never win at Cornhole, but Ruben Bain
yeah.
is just an absolute monster. I mean, if this was for number 1 pick in the draft, then yeah, he's
sure.
a definite.
There's
answer.
a lot of good edge rushers going to be in this 2026 NFL draft.
This is a really good draft class as it's shaping up so far, I think.
Not for quarterbacks, but for everything else, just about, yeah.
Yeah, but like there's still guys like Fernando, like who'd probably be my pick to answer this question for the Heisman. Fernando's been impressive. I think you mentioned Dante Moore a little bit. Again, the loss last week does hurt his Heisman case, but he's played really well. Jordan Mayava, if you haven't watched USC yet this year, that team has some talent.
He's a dog, bro. He reminds me so much, and it's not just because he's light-skinned and he plays quarterback for USC, but Mayava really reminds me a lot of Caleb Williams.
I mean, there's probably a reason why he went to go join Lincoln Riley and why Lincoln Riley wanted him.
Yeah.
Overtime? Headed to overtime. If you're watching on your television, head on over to DNVR.com, and we will wrap up the show over there.
OT.
But yeah, a lot of the places where you could find these odds, Carson Beck and Ty Simpson and Fernando are the clear top 3 at this point.
Yeah. I saw a tweet earlier this week where they're like, we're really about to get here, motherfucking damn Heisman Trophy this year. Like, here, take this shit. Like, here, have it.
No, come on, man. Those guys have been playing well, though.
But I don't know. It's feeling like the Jaden Daniels Heisman year.
I could see that.
You know?
I could see that for sure.
We'll see what happens, though.
I mean, especially since we were so close to last year's Heisman. It's like, well, I mean, there's no one on that level clear.
For real, man. That was a good year. Both of those guys were
last
deserving.
one. The next head coach at Penn State will be blank. Take a stab.
What's Buddy name? I just forgot about it that quickly.
Rule?
Nah, that's the obvious answer. You know what? I'm just gonna say Rule, yeah, bro. Because again, that video, bro, where it looked like he was gonna cry, bro, like he was gonna be brought to tears talking about Penn State, bro. If they really offer him and drop the bag on his head, bro, I think it's gonna be hard for him to say no.
People have been saying, I've seen quite a bit of Coach Drink lately.
Mizzou?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Again, Signetti's name has been thrown around. Terry Smith, the interim head coach, potentially has been thrown around.
Fact, Shay.
Manny Diaz at Duke. Other than that, you're looking at a lot of OCs.
Because they got to
Long
go
shots.
big, right? They have to go big. I don't think Signetti's leading Indiana. And if it's not one of those two guys, Drink would. I think he would be big enough. Like, he would fit the big
I think Drink
profile.
would be a nice hire.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Matt Rule as well. Just because,
Yeah.
good Lord, please. Would that be hilarious? Just absolutely hilarious. We need that. Let's fill in the blank. You want to talk about fines real quick? Then we'll get the super chats and get out of here. The Big 12
Sure.
officially rescinded their fine for, or retracts fine is
yeah.
the correct wording, for Colorado's field storming against Iowa State. Shout out to Brian Hell, who reported that earlier today on Twitter. But just in terms for, where we were at that point in time, like, they were reminding the students every chance they got, please do not rush the field.
Yep.
They obviously had security and stuff too. Like, I think they did as best they can.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to control those situations.
Aside from one little knucklehead trying to steal Soul's helmet.
Yeah, that was wild.
I thought that was a pretty tame field rushing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Big 12 for having some, what's the word I'm looking for?
Common sense.
Yeah, that works. And realizing, like, just because people rush the field don't mean that you got to just drop that $50,000 fine hammer on somebody's head. So shout out to the Big 12. The Texas Tech Red Raiders and Kansas Jayhawks
tell us about this one.
We're not as lucky. Texas Tech and Kansas both received the $25,000 fine from the Big 12 this weekend. I'm sure you guys heard of it. Obviously, this game was in Lubbock. There were tortillas being thrown on the field, and Kansas head coach Lance Leipold was pissed after the game. He was like, I don't understand how the Big 12 made a rule about throwing stuff on the field, and Texas Tech is still continuing to do this.
It's a great point, though.
It is. Like, you made a rule that say that you can't do it anymore, and they're just still doing it.
Except for this
Right.
school.
Exactly.
Tradition.
So Leipold obviously had a point there, but in that post-game kind of rant, he mentioned that somebody threw a pocket knife on the field. And that's what Kansas was fined for. The Big 12 says that Kansas has been fined for disparaging comments about the conference and a member institution and an inaccurate statement regarding a pocket knife by head coach Lance Leipold. So both Texas Tech and Kansas got a $25K fine. I'm sure, especially Texas Tech, I'm sure won't hurt their pockets
Cody's
too
got
much.
them covered. Yeah, I mean, great point. It is crazy that they just let this tortilla shit go on,
It's
honestly.
crazy.
Because you know that it's not just tortillas they're throwing out there, clearly.
No, we know that.
And it's, tortillas, they're not really big or small, but you can definitely hide something if you wrap it up in a tortilla. You know what I mean?
100%.
So, one super chat from Porter Fam.
I'll read it.
Oh, go
From
for
Porter
it.
fam. Scott, respectfully, with as much screens as CU runs, blocking does matter for these wide receivers. We should be holding them accountable. Just saying. Couple things on that, Porter fam. Really appreciate the super chat. Respectfully, they shouldn't be running these many damn screens as they run. And we have talked about that. Especially if you know that your receivers aren't blocking like right tackles and left tackles. Maybe we shouldn't be running as many screens. And again, that's something we talked about on the show. But yes, receivers, yes, they should be held accountable by their coaches for blocking, by their teammates for blocking. But again, I've never heard nobody say, you know what, Justin Jefferson, bro, if only he could just block. If only Jamar Chase could just really lock in on a double team and open up some holes for Chase Brown. We don't do that because receivers are on the field to get open and catch the football. Would you like them to block when it's a run play? Hell yeah. That's why Puka Nacua gets so much credit. That's why Amon-Ra St. Brown gets so much credit.
Sure.
You get credit for doing that, but Usually you don't get knocked down a peg as a good receiver. For Dudes just doesn't have it as a blocker.
You know who
Come on.
really didn't have as a blocker and really did not care about it, but is still a great player, got a big signing, and is on a new team this year and
Who
doing
dat?
his thing? George Pickens.
Yeah. And there's a long list of guys like that. You know what I'm saying? So, again, we certainly like the receivers to block, particularly in the run game, particularly when there's a screen call. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'd just rather not there be screen calls a lot when the receivers aren't elite blockers. But
I mean, when you have the offensive line blocking at the level that they're blocking at, then yeah, I'd much rather have more screens, I guess, inside the hashes as opposed to outside.
yeah,
That's my opinion.
is what it is.
Again, I'm not a coach, but thanks, C. Brown. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do some more fun stuff. Obviously, we'll talk recruiting. We didn't get to it
Yep.
today. But I've got some ideas. We'll see. See y'all then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.